please. Wow! How did you guys do it?
We got cleaners.
Cleaners?
You know it, Dad.
Cleaner, it works.
Coming up next on Plus TV, Plus News. Join our news team for half hour of local and national news. Plus News, informative, balanced, accurate, and current.
When the job demands more, Milwaukee Power Tools are designed to handle the toughest jobs on the construction site. If it's speed, durability, and performance you need, Milwaukee is the perfect choice. For unstoppable power at an unbeatable price, make it Milwaukee. Nothing but heavy duty. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
In Toledo, your land is your biggest asset. It is where most families invest all their cash. It provides your food and, in many instances, your livelihood. But a proposed law could take control of private land and transfer it to village ownership. Even with legal title, your property rights could be extinguished, even if you owned it before 2015 when the consent order was signed. Doesn't matter what your ethnicity, if your land is declared Maya customary land, it will be owned by the village. And while we wait, confusion grows, misinformation spreads, and uncertainty is taking hold. As written, this bill may require a constitutional amendment, meaning this could extend beyond Toledo to all of Belize. This bill is too important to rush. Let's fix it, discuss it, and get it right. Toledo Private and Lease Landowners Limited, protecting property rights through dialogue.
Flowers are more than petals and stems. They are messages. They speak when words fall short. At Bow and Our Flowers, every arrangement tells a story of love, gratitude, comfort, and celebration of moments that matter. From heartfelt condolences to joyful milestones and everyday surprises, we treat your moments as if they are our own. We're more than a flower shop. We create customized gift baskets filled with adorable items, making every gift truly unforgettable. At Bow and Our Flowers, our promise is simple: quality, heart, and arrangements that create long-lasting memories. Visit us in Nopan or Spanish Lookout. Contact us. Bow and Our Flowers, where every flower has a purpose and every gift hits the heart.
Hola niños, ¿cómo están? ¿Están listos para fe, diversión y amigos?
¿Están listos?
¡Sí! Así que únanse con nosotros cada sábado a las 10 a.m. y los domingos a las 11 a.m.
Dos tiempos para escoger o únanse a los dos. Aquí en PlusTV.
Cada semana tendremos nuevos episodios solo para ti y canciones muy divertidas para que bailemos juntos.
Y pasos de baile super cool que puedes seguir.
Cada semana tendremos historias emocionantes que nos acercan a Jesús. Y ¿saben? Juegos muy divertidos para que brillamos juntos.
Vamos a aprender cómo para brillar para Jesús donde quiera que estemos.
¿Te gustan las sorpresas y premios? ¿Te gusta hacer nuevos amigos?
¿Te gusta divertirte y aprender de Dios?
Así es.
Familia es para ti.
Así que no te olvides. Invita a tus amigos.
In the headlines for tonight's newscast, PSU president sounds the alarm on government contracts allegedly given to Oscar Mira's family. Foreign Affairs CEO says cabinet decisions still pending regarding Cuban Medical Brigade, and we bring you highlights from the public general meeting held by the Belmopan City Council. These stories and more up next on Plus News. Stay tuned.
Newscast is brought to you through the courtesy of Builders Hardware, your home improvement warehouse.
Some hands do more than carry. They prepare, they fix, they comfort. They keep a home moving in ways few people notice. And even when the day is done, they are still thinking of home. For the months of May and June, we celebrate the hands that hold the home together, offering you 25% off on tiles, lights, fans, ACs, gardening supplies, and more, both in-store and online. Thank you, moms and dads, from Builders Hardware.
Welcome to Plus News for today, Friday, June 12th. I'm LJ Wade. Public Service Union President Dean Flowers is calling for a full investigation into allegations surrounding approximately $1.7 million in government contracts issued to the sister of Minister of Home Affairs Oscar Mira. Over the past few weeks, Mira and his family have come under tense public scrutiny following reports that over a 5-year period, contracts were awarded to Jenny Mira for the supply of vegetables, largely for the Ministry of Defense. Leaked Smart Stream records reportedly show that between December of 2020 and August of 2025, she received multiple payments structured in amounts mostly under $10,000. According to the Ministry of Finance's circular, payments of $10,000 and above must undergo multi-level approval, including Treasury review, while smaller payments are processed internally within ministries. The circular also requires proper purchase orders, full documentation, and detailed invoice records to ensure transparency and accountability. The allegations suggest that splitting payments into smaller invoices may have been used to bypass these controls. Among those calling for action is Public Service Union President Dean Flowers. Flowers condemned the alleged practice, stating that it is clear the actions were deliberately done.
It is clear that there was an attempt to avoid oversight by the Treasury Department. It is clear that there was an attempt to avoid any questions being asked about the legitimacy of that payment. It is clear that there was an attempt to facilitate what could have very well been a corrupt practice. For too long, we have done little as a society other than grumbling, but we have not shown the kind of aggression that is needed to go after these corrupt actors in public service. We have to start with ourselves. We represent public officers, but it is not lost on us that some of the very people that we may be representing might be perpetrators of these illegal acts and these wrongdoings.
Flowers believes that the issue goes beyond the public service, describing it as a broader national concern. On the 11th of June, Flowers released a statement calling on oversight bodies to investigate all public officers involved and to take appropriate legal action where wrongdoing is found.
This is not a public service union issue. This is a Belizean issue, and I hope that the senators are paying attention. I hope that the opposition is paying attention, and the general citizenry, that we cannot let this slide. We need to know the extent and the magnitude to which this is occurring, and we must weed ourselves out of these people. And I don't care who gave them the instruction. They knew it was wrong. They're all over the age of 21 and they know right from wrong. And so they cannot use an instruction which they knew was not in the best interest of the Belizean people as an excuse for doing what they did. Any sensible auditor general, any sensible internal auditor should see this for what it is. It is an attempt to deceive, it is blatant corruption, and it is the siphoning of public monies into private hands, and it must be investigated, and those who engaged in the practice should be held accountable to the full extent of the law. We're also calling that where there is corruption, where perhaps those goods and services were not received, where within the smart stream system, whereby they had a duty to record and document the specifics of those purchases, whereby they may have inputted false or misleading information, that this matter be referred to the police department and that they be charged criminally for fraud. And I will not be holding my breath, but I want to see how the Ministry of Public Service will respond to these revelations. I want to see how the Ministry of Finance will respond to this, and I want to see how the Auditor General, the Accountant General, and the Contractor General will respond. They have a duty to respond. I am saying that as a citizen of this country, as the president of this union, I will continue to advocate for better governance and more so for accountability and transparency in government. And who need to go to jail, need to go to jail. And I hope that one day, just like we saw last week, whereby the premier for Turks and Caicos was sentenced, I pray to God I want to see the day when former prime ministers of this country go to jail or current prime ministers go to jail because they did little to stop the corruption that they saw happening around them.
Public Service Union President Dean Flowers is also pointing the finger at finance officers, saying they are just as much to blame in the splitting of the $1.7 million in payments. Flowers stressed that public officers serve the people and should not turn a blind eye to corruption. Instead, they should be willing to say no in the face of it. He says those involved should be dealt with accordingly.
Public officers sign an oath. They took a responsibility to come into the public service to do right by the Belizean people. And we have to hold them accountable if we're going to represent them. And so I felt that it was important that we make every effort to expose those finance officers who are engaged and who are involved in these kind of practices. And I want to make it explicitly clear. This is not an isolated incident, and it is not isolated to the Ministry of National Defense. It is rampant in almost or perhaps every single ministry. And if it means that every finance officer who has been complicit in these type of illegal, corrupt wrongdoing of splitting payments, then they need to be exposed. And where the commission sees fit, if it is that there is the political will to go after them, that the commission deals with them accordingly. It has cost us millions of dollars, and it will cost us billions of dollars, much to the detriment of the next generation, who are their own children. And this is what I want them to think about, that what you're doing is impoverishing your own child by facilitating these type of corrupt acts for these political creatures that we worship as gods.
What can public officers do if a CEO or a minister comes and says, I want this to be done this way?
They can say no. They can be guided accordingly. A finance officer responsibility is not to facilitate a corrupt instruction or an unlawful instruction or an instruction that seeks to deceive the Ministry of Finance and by extension the people of Belize. That is not their responsibility. And that's why I will say without apology, when these CEOs come into government, when these ministers come into government, they are in most cases oblivious to these kind of practices. It is the public officers who introduce them to these kind of practices, and then the politicians and the CEOs start abusing these type of practices to transfer wealth, public funds into private pockets. And that makes our finance officers and our public officers who are part and parcel of that process complicit to corruption.
In an interview with the media yesterday, the U.S. Charge d'Affaires, Catherine Beamer, stated that the United States government is supporting Belize's stance to wind down the Cuban Medical Brigade.
We are very supportive of the government's decision to wind down this program in Belize, and we are committed to encouraging all the countries throughout the region to adhere to international labor standards, and we're very interested in human dignity and that type of employment, those types of employment relations. I'm not going to comment on specific conversations that I've had with the government, but I do know that there's a strong commitment to ensuring that healthcare in Belize remains robust and serves the Belizean people.
Can you also share the U.S. position on the humanitarian aid that Belize provided to Cubans?
I'm not going to comment on that today. I will refer you to the State Department. Secretary Rubio and President Trump have been taking the lead on this issue.
The last official government correspondent the public received regarding the matter was that the government of Belize was still in the process of weighing its options. Today we heard from the CEO within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Oscar Arnold. While the CEO would not go against the U.S. Charge d'Affaires comments, he did state that Cabinet has not yet made the decision on whether or not the Cuban Medical Brigade would continue.
I believe that both Prime Minister Besenio and Foreign Minister Fonseca, prior to his medical leave, spoke extensively on this issue. I believe Prime Minister gave indications that we are looking at the program. The Charge of Affairs didn't mince word when she says that they are committed to try to, well, not to try to, but they are committed to encouraging all the countries in this hemisphere to cease and desist with that program. And I believe that the government of Belize, through the Prime Minister's office, has indicated that we will look at the program. I believe a few months ago, prior to my time here as CEO, Cabinet has instructed both the Foreign Affairs Ministry as well as the Ministry of Health to look at options to try to put proposals on the table that can be discussed and then move it from there. And I believe that those proposals, looking at those proposals, they're looking for other solutions, will be coming to our end shortly, and it will have to revert back to Cabinet to make a decision and then to inform the Belizean public. We know that at every instance, the government of Belize, again through the Prime Minister, through the Foreign Minister, has stated that this program provides much needed technicians, much needed doctors. And so whatever decision is made, something will have to be in place to ensure that there is not a big vacuum or that there is not a big void that remains in our medical system. We still need to ensure that we can provide the delivery of service.
What you are saying is that, Cabinet will make a final decision. But what the Charge was saying is that the decision has been made. Is she wrong in saying that?
From what I won't comment on whether she's wrong or right, but what I read from the comment and the stuff that were sent to me was that she's saying that they would support the decision of the wind down. I didn't see that she said there that it was coming to an end or an abrupt end.
Okay, well, she said we are supportive of the government's decision to wind down, meaning that the government, or the meaning I take is that the government has made such a decision to wind down.
I believe when that decision is made, Jules, that the Prime Minister's office and the Cabinet will have to inform the Belizean people. And the highest decision-making group in the country is the Cabinet.
And the Cabinet has not so decided?
From the information that I have, no.
An unrelenting tide of sargassum continues to plague Belize's coastline, impacting communities, businesses, and the environment. Communities such as San Pedro, Placencia, St. Bite, Key Cocker, and Hopkins are once again facing significant accumulations of seaweed, with this year's influx reportedly worse than last year. In San Pedro, officials have launched a public sensitization program to better manage the growing problem. The island recently moved into a red phase alert under its sargassum response plan. Science advisor with the San Pedro Town Council, Valentine Rosado, explained the phases of the program.
So we have set up a satellite system, and it's basically just part of the sensitization program that we have to inform people about the efforts that are going down in the ground. And just to keep it simple, we use this satellite. As soon as we start seeing sargassum, we call it sargassum watch, which is the green phase. We begin to look at the forecast. We begin to look at the staff, the tools that we have available to get ready to start the cleanup if it's necessary. The yellow phase is when for 3 consecutive days we start seeing sargassum and the guys are trying to keep up with it. Then we keep that at the yellow phase, meaning that at that point we need all resources available. We need as much staff that we have, as much tools, and we need to be targeting the different areas to really try to keep it under control. The red phase is really when we notice that for a bunch of days we are not able to remove the sargassum that comes in for that day. What happens the following day, it accumulates. The third day it accumulates, and that's the period when it sits in the water and it really begins to have that bad smell that affects everything, right? It affects the people that live on the beach. It affects the equipment, it affects the marine life. It affects the ecosystem. So basically the red phase is kind of signaling we need as much support as possible because the resources that we currently have are not enough to keep track of the sargassum. And when we look at the forecast, we know that it's already overwhelming and there's a lot more additional sargassum coming in on a daily basis. And we can already project that it's going to continue for at least a couple of weeks, depending on what the forecasts are saying.
Belize is not alone in feeling the effects of the record influx. Countries across the wider Caribbean are also grappling with the impacts of sargassum. San Pedro's Town Council spends more than $1 million on mitigation efforts, including equipment maintenance, vehicles, and staffing. Rosado spoke about the strain sargassum places on tourism and the wider San Pedro community.
The situation with the sargassum is the entire Caribbean, so everyone feels it, and I think that that's part of the awareness that we're doing, because we've learned over the years that we don't want to scare the tourists away because we depend on tourism. But when the tourists come and they see the sargassum, then they kind of feel deceived. And what's more important for them is that they need to understand, they need to be aware that we're doing something about it. Because if they cancel their vacation in San Pedro, Belize, and they end up to go to another Caribbean island, it's not like sargassum is not there. It's in the entire Caribbean, and it's been happening for more than 10 years now. So they have a high degree of awareness as to the situation of sargassum in the entire Caribbean. Previously, when sargassum started coming in, for a couple of weeks or a couple of months. Some years it comes in, some years it doesn't, some years is a little bit better. But I think for like the past 3-4 years, it's been every single year, almost the entire year. We just get those small breaks in between. But those breaks are only enough for us to go back and look at the areas where we had heavy accumulations and try to catch up. It only gives us time for the staff to take their day off. It only gives us time for the vehicles and equipment to go into maintenance. And by the time you're barely recovering from that, the sargassum comes back in.
As forecasts indicate that additional sargassum is expected in the coming weeks, questions remain about the island's ability to cope. According to Rosado, preparedness remains key in managing the issue.
So we cannot clean up the entire island, but we look at small sites, we manage it at these small areas, and once we're able to tackle it, then we keep expanding those efforts to larger areas. And I'll give you an example. The Central Park in San Pedro, which is where everyone comes, takes their picture, it's right in town. We're able to manage that on a daily basis, no matter how overwhelming it is. whatever we did last year, we have to do the same exact thing this year, plus adding additional resources every year because the sargassum is not going to disappear. It's going to continue happening every year. And when you look at countries around us that have been able to manage these specific areas, that's how it's been done, right? And it's a multitude of things. You have staff on the ground, they have big machinery, right? They have a lot of resources invested in monitoring, forecasting, understanding that is going to happen on a yearly basis and preparing every single year. And every year you add to the preparation from the previous year. And I think that is the unfortunate part of a lot of us, not only in Belize, but in other areas, that we're still kind of waiting for it to just disappear, for it to stop happening. And another issue I see is that people are waiting for like one solution that's going to magically appear and get rid of the sargassum. That's not going to happen. We have to treat sargassum the same way we're treating hurricanes. We have a response plan. We implement it at the beginning of the year, and we do that every single year back to back.
We'll take our first break, and when we return, we'll bring you highlights from last night's general public meeting held by the Belmopan City Council. Stay tuned.
Benny's is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for dad. In the month of June, visit a Benny's near you and get store-wide discounts on selected items such as Milwaukee and Axie Power Tools, Charbroil Barbecue Grills, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, and much, much more. Make dad happy with popping deals for dad in June, only at Benny's.
Benny's, Benny's, oh, Benny's, Benny's.
Belize Electricity Limited is pleased to announce the holding of its 2024 annual general meeting at the BEL corporate headquarters on 2.5 miles Philip Golson Highway, Belize de Belize, at 3 p.m. on Thursday, June 19, 2025. For registration purposes, shareholders are advised to bring along a valid identification, such as a social security card. Shareholders who are unable to attend may choose, and we encourage you to exercise this right, to appoint your proxy, or you can simply appoint the company's CEO or the corporate secretary as your proxy to represent you at the AGM. Proxy forms can be submitted at the BEL corporate headquarters on 2.5 miles Philip Wilson Highway, or via email at shares@bel.com.bz no later than 5 p.m. on June 17, 2025. For more information or assistance, contact BEL's Securities Officer at 227-0954, extension 1512.
I was in Belmopan, then I used to go do my NHI in Belize. Then I came back home in Palma, and when I found out that NHI was here, I said, right, that's the perfect thing for me. So I don't have to travel, you know. It's very affordable. That's the main point. And you don't have to wait too long. You know, sometimes you go to hospital, you have to go from the morning, whole day there. So, but you come to the NHI at your clinic, you have access for doctors, you do your blood tests, urine tests, everything. I mean, it's very, very affordable. So if they not take the opportunity, they don't want nothing. The doctors, them, the nurses, oh my, they are so, you could question them. They give you answer to everything. And well, me, I see good result. And I have no complaint with the NHI itself. No complaint.
Some hands do more than carry. They prepare, they fix, they comfort. They keep a home moving in ways few people notice. And even when the day is done, they are still thinking of home. For the months of May and June, we celebrate the hands that hold the home together, offering you 25% off on tiles, lights, fans, ACs, gardening supplies, and more, both in-store and online. Thank you, moms and dads, from Builders Hardware.
Manholes play a critical role in keeping our sewage and drainage systems functioning properly. They allow our maintenance team to inspect, clean, and clear blockages. When covers are missing or compromised, the entire system and the public are placed at risk. Stealing or damaging manhole covers is a criminal offense and creates dangerous conditions on our streets and sidewalks. Motorists and drivers are reminded that it is an offense to park or drive on sidewalks. The weight of vehicles, large or small, can crack and dislodge manhole covers. In an ongoing effort to protect lives, property, and public infrastructure across Belize City, your Belize City Council continues its citywide manhole cover replacement program. Since the launch of this initiative, thousands of damaged or missing manhole covers have been replaced, improving safety, accessibility, and the overall appearance of our streets and sidewalks. Despite these strides, manhole covers continue to be stolen or damaged, creating serious risks for pedestrians and motorists, including severe injuries, traffic incidents, and damage to personal property. If you see a manhole cover that is broken, missing, or unsafe, report it immediately. Take a photo and share the location with us via WhatsApp at 673-9055 or by calling 227-2308. Remember, maintaining manhole covers requires a shared responsibility. Together, we can prevent accidents, protect public infrastructure, and keep Belize City safe for everyone. Your Belize City Council, always about the people.
The biggest tournament requires the ultimate streaming experience with NextGen TV. Win with NextGen. Pay your bill or sign up for a NextGen bundle plan for a chance to win a 43, 55, or up to 65-inch smart TV bundle, a brand new soundbar, and many more prizes. Get ready to witness football history being made with NextGen. Not a NextGen TV subscriber yet? Contact us to subscribe today. NextGen TV, your stadium at home.
Some hands do more than carry. They prepare, they fix, they comfort. They keep a home moving in ways few people notice. And even when the day is done, they are still thinking of home. For the months of May and June, we celebrate the hands that hold the home together, offering you 25% off on tiles, lights, fans, ACs, gardening supplies, and more, both in-store and online. Thank you, moms and dads, from Builders Hardware.
%13 of business owners in the capital have refused to pay their trade license fees to the Belmopan City Council. On Thursday, June 11th, the Belmopan City Council held a public general meeting to update residents on the council's finances and also have each of the departments of the council present their reports. According to the trade unit supervisor within the council, out of 1,158 businesses registered in Belmopan, only 87% are paying their trade license fees.
Our total business that we have currently in the city of Belmopan is 1,158. Trade business payment in compliance, we have 87%. Trade business payment pending, we have 13%. So we are encouraging all the remaining of business who have not made their payment yet, please come in and do so. Get your status up to date. Our new business for this year, January to June 2026, we have had 98 business so far.
So we're growing, we're getting there. For our liquor license, we have a total of 114 business, 98% business in compliance. Total trade invoices for 2025-2026, as you can see, we had collected majority, which bring us to 1.2 million. For total trade invoice 2026-2027, we still have an outstanding balance of 114,620. So, like I mentioned before, I'm encouraging all the businesses that have not made their payment, please come in and do so.
At the Belmopan City Council's public general meeting, the council also detailed the difficulties in tax collection throughout the city. According to the council's estimates, the city should collect approximately $2.7 million per year from property tax, but due to non-compliance, the figures are way below that. Currently, some property owners have failed to pay their property taxes for more than 2 decades, resulting in an accumulated arrears balance of approximately $7.5 million.
Property tax rule for Belmopan consists of the revenue stream should be around $2.7 million of the current year 2026-2027. The total tax collected thus far is $1.3 million. The outstanding taxes is at 1.3 as well. Now, the most important thing to note from this slide is the arrears. Arrears under 5 years is 0.5 million. The total arrears for 5 years and above is 4.9, which brings your total arrears to 7.5. This is important to note because we need to tackle these arrears accounts, because some parcels in Belmopan have not paid their taxes for over 20 years. And so we're faced with a problem in receiving those funds that are desperately needed in order to grow Belmopan. And so the compliance unit is actively working on getting these accounts updated with personal information like phone numbers, email address, so that we could tackle and reduce this arrears in the near future. West Belmopan, the total collected thus far from West Belmopan is just under $90,000. The outstanding is just above $96,000. North Ring Road, those areas would include Caracol Street, Cayman Street, and so on. Total collected 113, outstanding 91,000. Total parcels 254. Streets like Nemo Drive, which has recently been paved, and Sir Calvin Young Boulevard are streets in that area. Total collected is 41,000. Outstanding is 35,000. Moving on to Mountain View, a total of 1,388 parcels. Amount collected 102, outstanding $136,000. Total parcels in that area is 1,142. We have collected 281,000, and we have yet 144,000 yet to collect. As we go through these images, it's clear to note that Belmopan is growing, and so with the rapid growth of Belmopan, we need to ensure that we receive the funds so that we can tackle the maintenance and all the upgrades that Belmopan would need in the near future.
The City Council is urging the public to pay off their debts to the Council, as the monies collected are used to fund ongoing projects within the city. Property taxes in Belmopan aren't the only taxes that the City Council is having trouble collecting. According to the City Council, they're also having problems convincing residents to pay their garbage fees. To date, $1.8 million in garbage fees have yet to be paid to the Council. According to the compliance supervisor, the City Council is planning to start posting the parcel numbers of persons who have refused to pay their taxes.
As of this reporting period, the council has a total of 5,010 active household garbage accounts. Annual fees for garbage total to 300,600, and we have an outstanding amount of 1,865,523. When it comes to commercial garbage, we have a total of 1,175 active accounts. Commercial garbage annual fees total to $274,832, and while outstanding is $77,668. These figures are an accumulation of past years, and despite our efforts in trying to collect through customer outreach, bill deliveries, payment plan reminders, we still have a substantial amount of non-compliant customers. So in an effort to support compliance, the council is intending to publicize a listing of parcel numbers, mainly for customers who were not able to reach out to. One of our biggest challenges includes those with outdated contact information, as well as ownership records. Majority of the landowners within Belmopan sell their lots, and they do not come into the council to do the transfer, so majority of our accounts are filled with outdated information. So I do encourage landowners within Belmopan and those that own accounts come in and try to regularize their accounts. We do offer payment plans.
During the Belmopan City Council's public general meeting, the council's financial director, Flavio Salam, also presented the findings of the independent audits that were conducted for the period during former UDP Mayor Khalid Belal's tenure. Salam presented the findings for both Belal's terms that ran concurrently from 2015 to 2021. The independent audits were conducted by Cedric D. Flowers, who gave an adverse opinion on all of the years that were audited. According to Salam, an adverse opinion is the most severe finding an auditor can issue. It means the company's financial statements contain material misstatements that are so pervasive they completely misrepresent the entity's true financial position, violating standard accounting frameworks. Salam says that under Belal, an audit report inferred that the council suffered over $4.6 million in losses.
It is due to pervasive and systemic failures in governance, financial management, internal controls, and adherence to legal requirements. Key findings include innovable land transactions, potential loss $319,000. Other land sales, buffers, potential loss $2.9 million. Trade-off transactions, potential loss $514,000. Other set-off, potential loss $850,000. Suspicious timing and potential misconduct. In aggregate, the findings indicate a period marked by significant financial mismanagement, potential losses exceeding $4.6 million, a disregard for fundamental principles of public administration and fiduciary responsibility, and severe internal control deficiencies. The operational environment facilitated the potential for abuse and resulted in considerable financial and reputational risk for the Belmopan City Council. This is only an extract of the auditor's report.
By the end of the year, Salam says that they should have the independent audit reports for former Sharon Palacios' term in office and the first 2 years under Pablo Kowich. A major talking point at last night's public meeting in Belmopan had to do with the Rude Boy billboard that was erected on Forest Drive earlier this year. The billboard has been the center of controversy in Belmopan as church leaders and members of the business community have demanded its removal due to its content. The advertisement, which features Trinidadian artist Nyla Blackman holding an alcoholic beverage, has drawn criticism for what some describe as a partially nude and suggestive image positioned at a highly visible location within the capital. During last night's meeting, a number of residents questioned whether or not the billboard would be removed. Here's that exchange.
And so tonight, how can we, as the city of Belmopan, create a safe place for our daughters and granddaughters to stand up for the women in our community, protect them in honor and respect? Can you say, what can we do here tonight to bring that billboard down?
As I had expressed at our prayer meeting last week, indecent is subjective. What might be indecent to one is not indecent to another. So, for clarity, I would like to ask, when you guys go next Tuesday, please try to print out that billboard and circle for me what is the indecent portion so that I can show you billboards across the country that are exposing more than that specific billboard. Right? And I go back to the point that I want to fight this fight with you. As you guys have consistently said, God put me here for a reason. And the reason in my reception from the messages I am getting from the Lord is telling me that we are presently trying to fight the wrong thing. We need to take the fight to a higher level, which is why I insist on the content legislation, not that specific billboard.
And it's true that what is insensitive change, and it's true that what may or may not be shown in our green spaces change, but it has to be done so with the approval of the people. You and your team operate on behalf of the people. We made you our mayor, our leader, not our judge to arbitrate what is decent and indecent, but to hear what your people have been saying. And I believe that your residents of Belmopan, including myself, have made it crystal clear that we in Belmopan do not want that billboard up.
Belmopan has no land. It's a phrase that residents of the capital have been accustomed to over the past 10 years. While there is reportedly no residential land in Belmopan, when the city was built, numerous green zones were set aside for the capital. Over the past decade, several of those land buffers and green zones were sold in an attempt for the council to make a quick buck. According to the city council, when they took office in 2024, they uncovered that 169 parcels were sold below market value. The council also found that 33 buffers were in the process of being sold and managed to reclaim 60% of them. Following this revelation, members of the public asked the council to release the names of persons who own buffers and green zones in Belmopan.
Publicize the names of those who have pilfered our green spaces. They are some of the same people over and over again, that whenever the city council falls short of money in the past, they go directly to these individuals. And these individuals know those things are green spaces and yet purchase them from under us. I want to encourage this council to publish all of the names, and we will get to see that it's some people who we respect very highly are the ones who are purchasing our greens. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Wade. We can definitely explore the publication of these names. I must mention that after taking over administration at the council, we did receive a letter from the Commissioner of Stamps specifically, who operates out of the Ministry of Natural Resources. And the letter specifically stated that some green spaces that were applied to be sold were being rejected by the Commissioner of Stamps because of the categorization that they had. So I can only express what I am aware of. I can't say more than I know. So we will explore that publication for you, Reverend Wade.
We'll take our last break and be back with more news. Stay tuned.
Some hands do more than carry. They prepare, they fix, they comfort. They keep a home moving in ways few people notice. And even when the day is done, they are still thinking of home. For the months of May and June, we celebrate the hands that hold the home together, offering you 25% off on tiles, lights, fans, ACs, gardening supplies, and more, both in-store and online. Thank you, moms and dads, from Builders Hardware.
Flowers are more than petals and stems. They are messages. They speak when words fall short. At Bow and Our Flowers, every arrangement tells a story of love, gratitude, comfort, and celebration of moments that matter. From heartfelt condolences to joyful milestones and everyday surprises, we treat your moments as if they are our own. We're more than a flower shop. We create customized gift baskets filled with adorable items, making every gift truly unforgettable. At Bow and Our Flowers, our promise is simple: quality, heart, and arrangements that create long-lasting memories. Visit us in Nopan or Spanish Lookout. Contact us. Bow and Our Flowers, where every flower has a purpose and every gift hits the heart.
In the heart of Belmopan, there's a pharmacy that cares for more than just prescriptions. Medicare Plus Pharmacy, genuine patient and community-centered care, isn't just a promise, it's what we deliver every day. From medicines and wellness products to everyday essentials for you, your home, and even your pets. We're here for your entire family. Moms and expecting mothers are welcome to nurse in our private counseling room because your comfort matters. We offer diabetes checks, blood pressure checks, and medical counseling to help keep you informed and in control of your health. We support our community through blood drives, nutrition and wellness programs, and partnerships that make healthcare more accessible for everyone. And when medical information feels overwhelming, our trained staff takes the time to explain, guide, and support you so you can confidently manage your health and improve your quality of life. Medicare Plus Pharmacy Belmopan, genuine patient and community-centered care, always.
The biggest football event in the world is finally here, and Smart is giving you the chance to play and win. Before every match starts, predict who will win. The more predictions you make, the more chances you have to win. Get 1 point towards your total when you guess the winning team. Predict the exact score and earn up to 4 points. The top scorer at the conclusion of the World Cup wins the grand prize of $2,500 in cash. That's not all. Players get a chance to win weekly prizes. Plus, our quarter-final winner gets a watch party package. Play directly in the Smart app for just 50 cents per entry. Prediction starts June 1st to July 18, 2026. Don't just watch the workup, play along and win with Smart. Smart, bringing people together.
Make light work lighter and quicker with switch technology from Axi Power Tools. Axi Switch technology breaks the bondage of power cords and grants you the luxury of freedom and precision. Switch one battery across all your Axi line power tools effortlessly, allowing for quick and efficient work. Cut the cords. Choose efficiency with Axi Switch technology. Only at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Flowers are more than petals and stems. They are messages. They speak when words fall short. At Bow and Our Flowers, every arrangement tells a story of love, gratitude, comfort, and celebration of moments that matter. From heartfelt condolences to joyful milestones and everyday surprises, we treat your moments as if they are our own. We're more than a flower shop. We create customized gift baskets filled with adorable items, making every gift truly unforgettable. At Bow and Our Flowers, our promise is simple: quality, heart, and arrangements that create long-lasting memories. Visit us in Belmopan or Spanish Lookout. Contact us. Bow and Our Flowers, where every flower has a purpose and every gift hits the heart.
In the heart of Belmopan, there's a pharmacy that cares for more than just prescriptions.
Heavy rainfall across central and southern Belize triggered flash flooding in several communities yesterday, leaving residents scrambling to protect their homes, belongings, and livestock. In the Mountain Valley community in the Stan Creek district, rising floodwaters inundated homes and cut off access to parts of the area. 4 families became stranded after a major community road was submerged under several feet of water, prompting an emergency rescue operation. I visited the community and filed the following report. The Mountain Valley community in the Stan Creek district had to be rescued from their homes following heavy rainfall in the area. The rainfall began affecting central and southern Belize around 2 a.m. today, and by 7 o'clock, residents of the Mountain Valley community found that rising floodwaters were rapidly inundating their homes, forcing them to leap into action in an effort to save their belongings and livestock.
Well, I noticed in the night it was raining a lot and thundering, and then at 4:45 or something, my neighbor's son was at my house, and he talked something about the flood is coming and near to my house. So when I got up, and I said, man, the water was already at in my shed. Wow. So I quick take out some things that I had in the shed to rescue it and the house don't get wet, and then I noticed my calves were in the water, deep water already, so I had to bring out the calves in a higher place. And then, well, I wake up my sons and my daughters, and they quick all came and helped rescue some things there that we had.
Well, did any of your animals perish?
Not that we know, but most of my cattle, they are way back close to the river where it's higher, so I hope they're all still there. Well, when the river goes down more, I will go and check and hope that I can bring them back, to my house. But I don't know yet. I will have to go and check it later. I had to put my pigs on my new house and veranda because they were couldn't survive in the water, and rescue some of my belongings from my shed because the whole shed is just, wow. Most of the stuff some stuff still stay there. We tied some of the things, the buggies, but a lot of stuff there, we'll have to go and look for it. Maybe we'll still find it and scatter around.
But the horrors didn't stop there. Due to the heavy rainfall, one of the main community roads was under as much as 10 feet of water, trapping 4 families on the other side of the newly formed river. The community, alongside the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, quickly pooled their resources to rescue the stranded families.
Yeah, I think they rescued them with boats to take them out at a higher place. Yes, the police came here 2 times already, and
And they
Yeah.
assisted you guys?
Yeah, yeah. Also, the shiny close to here, he brought a motorboat to rescue people. And
You see, there's 4 families out here that were stranded, and some were taken out, and others just stayed up in the higher part of their house.
Okay.
Then in the other end is almost the same thing. Another 4 families that were like stranded and had to find their way.
Wow.
And some of them were helped to get to higher grounds, and others just went in their house and stayed till they see it was going down.
The Mountain Valley community is just one of a number of areas throughout the country that experience flash flooding. The National Emergency Coordinator for NEMO, Daniel Mendez, says that NEMO is on high alert and is currently monitoring the situation and will be ready to activate if necessary.
Our teams across the country have been on alert. We have been monitoring along with the Met Service and the Hydrologist Service the passage of the rainfall. So what we have been noticing is there have been a few incidents in the Stand Creek district. Our Stand Creek coordinators have been out there addressing and assisting in that regard. There is always a potential for further activation of the system, but at this point, there has not been a need, but we will keep on monitoring, and as the information comes in, the rest of the country remains on alert. So all of our offices across the country are aware and have been making communication with the different components of the system. So if there is a need for us to activate the system, it will be done so quickly.
Reporting for Plus News, LJ Wade. A Pomona Village family is desperately searching for a missing 30-year-old mother and her 7-year-old son after both disappeared from their home earlier this week. Valina Bade and her son, Michael Acosta Jr., have been unaccounted for since Wednesday, June 10th. Bade's sister, Marissa, says the family first learned of their disappearance after visiting her home.
My sister lives at the back in the, well, we call that area the burial site area. Because of the tremendous rains that we were experiencing, she lived in an area where the yard usually gets flooded. So my parents were concerned about her, and they were calling and calling and calling. And they, to no avail, she didn't respond. And so my dad decided to go and look for her, which then he discovered that the front door was opened. And so when he went inside, he found her nowhere to be seen. Well, my sister and my little nephew, the house was ransacked. All her identifications, everything, her phone was found in the house except for her and my nephew.
The family is at a loss as to what could have contributed to their disappearance. Bade says her sister is not one to leave without notice, making the situation even more concerning.
We're not people who, go around stirring up problems with people and then we're well known in the community for, well, I guess for helping people out. So no one comes to mind to say that would harm her. Everything is new to us, which was alarming to us when we found her not being inside her house, and her cell phone was found inside the house. And I think if she would have gone somewhere, probably she would have said it, because I think if she would have gone somewhere, probably she would have said it, because we just don't pick up and go in the middle of the night.
The family has since organized search parties in hopes of bringing them home safely. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Bade and her son can contact the family at 613-0695. A mother is seeking the whereabouts of her 30-year-old son, who was last seen on May 31st in Mullins River Village. Pamela Charrington says her son, Richard Charrington, who suffers from schizophrenia, was previously admitted to a medical facility in Belmopan and was discharged about 3 weeks ago. She is now appealing to the public for help in locating him, as he is without medication and his family is concerned for his well-being.
Well, my son gone missing on the 21st, I'm here to be exact. We hear different things, people say they decide and they decide, but when we contact and so, no coming up finance, so I don't know what to say, The last place we stand around the church, we stand up by the church, and from there we send for the police them if they can assist, see if we can get onto the hospital, and from then we don't know where we get to. We never did say anymore. We only hear people saying, we stand out a Hope Creek, some say we did a Roaring Creek, but anytime we go and we ask questions, so nothing to lead, no? 3 weeks to be exact yesterday. I don't want to reach back to the hospital as quickly as possible because they need the pain medication for the past 3 weeks, and that's needed for her.
Anyone with information on Charrington's whereabouts is asked to contact his family at 667-8241. The city of Belmopan is positioning itself to become a major player in the tourism industry. On the 11th of June, the mayor of Belmopan announced that there are plans to conduct a national museum and the cultural center in Belmopan. Mayor Kowich stated that they are also in communication with various tour companies to explore what Belmopan has to offer.
Regarding Belmopan as a tourist destination, I know many councils have attempted different approaches. We also have a biodiversity park, which we are trying to work on with some different ministries. We have not had our first meeting as yet. We're still in process of assembling the group, which will consist of a cross-cut of the different ministries and departments that have a responsibility with environment and tourism and those things, and sustainability. So that is also another project which we're working on, where we believe would serve as a tourist destination for our capital city. We also are working on another project to implement or to construct a museum in Belmopan, the National Museum, and along with that, we are targeting to implement a culture center as part of the museum as well, to promote the different ethnicities and cultures that we have in Belize. So these are some of the projects when it comes to tourism.
And that's the news. Thank you for joining us. From all of us here at Plus TV, have a good night. God bless.